Good afternoon, everybody. We're here to present our study about cultural heritage. That's applied with cultural heritage in AR. That's augmented reality applied on cultural heritage. So first, a quick review about who is giving this. My name is Joatan, Preis Dutra. I'm PhD candidate in Bauhaus, Fiber, and part of the chair of interface design. And my colleague is Ivana Raquel. She's from Leipzig University and Communications Wissenschaft. So basically, my PhD research is about cultural heritage and mobile devices, and her PhD research is about augmented reality and journalism. So this paper that we present today is not our PhD thesis, it's just a sidekick project we do in parallel. And what is the project about? So it's about how to use augmented reality for cultural tourism, especially in UNESCO World Heritage Sites, but also mythology and city history, just to mention a few. And this paper will talk about how we use a CMS2 wizard that was art-oriented tool, and how you deviate this tool into our cultural heritage target content, and especially about an approach that's for non-programmers. So you don't need to be a programmer to use this tool. That's the aim here. So about the tool, is a wizard. He was created by Luciano Pina. He's a Dutch-Italian artist based in Amsterdam. And he created a web-based CMS system where you can upload files with GPS position. So how it works? Actually, he created this bubble principle, is how you call it. And what happened is you enter in the plane, you enter in the bubble, and you are already here in the middle, and then you can see all the objects as attached in this bubble with your camera, with a mobile device. So how it works? Basically, you have a point of interest, the point, that's GPS-based location, and then you attach all the objects around, and then you can choose the height and the distance, everything around this bubble. And if you want to implement in a location, you have actually several points. That's one location. And then you have a radar in your cell phone when you can go from here and then to here. The radar show like, hey, walk 20 meters east and then you find another bubble. And I don't know if you are aware about Junaio. Actually, this works on Junaio using the tile, but he was based in Junaio. So actually how to use it, you just have to install Junaio, scan a QR code, and then enjoy your augmented reality experience. But how it works, basically you have one QR code that works for all the points that you have the place. But the problem that you need to be where it was. Let's say if I place here in Bremen, you need to be in Bremen to watch these points. But you can also generate QR codes for each point where you can test in your home, everywhere. So still you have the possibility to access each point everywhere in the planet Earth. So this project actually was implemented in different places, and we have two cases here. One was in Brussels, in Belgium. Another one was in Volos, Greece, that's north of Athens. And the first one was developed during this Connecting Cities EuroVR Lab. That's the place where I met Luciano Pina, and then he made this workshop about this wizard too. And then I created this cultural heritage in Brussels at that time. And later on, I had the opportunity to work again in Greece and doing a summer school in Volos. But what is good here is because we have two different cities with two different profiles. In Brussels was the Ladrona Place, that's UNESCO heritage. That's where the city hall is, very beautiful place. So we have just a square to work on with cultural heritage, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And the other city is Volos, is a different profile, so it's a city, it's not just a square. So the challenge is also changing. And also it's not about places, but about mythology like centaurs and Montpellier, the chase of the Argonauts. So it's not a specific location. So how it was developed? First, when you enter this bubble, you need interaction to the place. So you need an avatar to access information. And the information could be dynamic, like animations, or static, like maps, audio, video. So you have to create an avatar. And this is the structure you use it. So you have three main elements. First, the icon about what the media is about. Okay, in this case, audio. And then you have a file description, also gives a feedback. It says 1 minute, 38 seconds file, so I can decide if I want to hear or not. And the avatar, that is based about sometimes playing the media, or sometimes related to the content. So I'll talk about the content. In Brussels, we developed for the old heritage there, the Joatan class, but also try to include more contemporary elements. If you have been in Belgium, you know that Belgium is very famous about their comics production. So here in Brussels, you include also comics about the class. But it follows, there's no make sense to make this comics, so just stay with the normal content, but also include Twitter here, just to show what people are actually commenting about the content, so you can see a more participatory part. And from just quickly about the avatars, you also try to develop avatars that is related somehow to the city. So as I mentioned before, Brussels is famous about Tintin and other comics characters, so you create a comics avatar based in Charles de Louvain, that was the founder of Brussels. And it follows was more about mythology, and so you just try to deviate, but sometimes also it's about the target here. For instance, this Constantinos church. So you see the icon and you see the element. And what works like this. Here's in follows. So you have the camera, and then here you have the radar that shows like all the objects around. So here in this bubble you have 5 objects. And then once you click, it targets the content. In this case here was a map about the Argonauts' travel. And here, for instance, text. You can use long text, scrolling bar, just showing. How to place it, the content also. It's a bit challenging. For instance, here in Brussels, because when you work with GPS, sometimes the satellite changes the location. So you need at least 20 meters between the points to not have this ping pong effect, because maybe you're here in the middle and then gets here and gets here. So you need at least a distance to place it. And here are the points from Brussels. But it follows was a city, so you have like a large area, but then you place it in promenade there. So, but here, for instance, you talk about the Mount Pelion. So from this point, you can see the mount that was like kilometers away, but at least you always try to put in context-aware positions when you can access the content. So here I have just example in follows about how it is. I was trying to film myself, and people think like, why he's filming making selfies? It's fun. So here's a text, that one, and here's the map that I showed before. So you need internet to use it. That is one part of the thing. So here I'm just rotating the bubble. So first was short text, here's a long text. Just scrolling, you can use also in horizontal, vertical positions. Here is audio about the JSON history. There is an audio here, but do not listen. And once you click once to trigger and click once to stop it. Also here was Twitter about Argonauts, and then I learned that Argonauts actually is an American football team from Toronto, so I had to use Argonauts and follows to filter the, so you can use a combination of search. And then here was in the end of, and here in the end here's a replica of the JSON Argonauts ship. So this is how it works each point more or less. So, and then you think about what about Bremen, how it would be, because this point is, with these two we can really quickly adapt for any kind of content, and then you think about, okay, in the last minute you think like, hey, I should do like something in Bremen, why not? Ah, by the way, I forgot to mention, but we both did our masters here in Bremen, so for us it was very nice to come back here, and it was really nice to revisit the places. But yeah, so think about the Stadtmusikanten, and we have also the Hanseatic League, whole heritage sites here in Bremen. Is a very rich city to work with cultural content, and then I create these avatars for each medium, so with just 5 types of medium with the avatars based on the fairy tale. So we place it here in the corner of when the tram line passes, because here in the middle is the fine arts market, so you cannot place it. That's another thing that you have to consider when you place it, because if you put in the middle of the market, it's a very busy place, so you have to think about also where you're going. So from here, I can see the Stadtmusikanten, I can see the Holland, I can see the Rathaus. So from this point, I can see all. And we did a video yesterday just to show how it was implemented here in Bremen. It was a very crowded moment. So here. So we include audio about the fairy tale, was 6-minute audios. So here was an illustration from 1859 about Bremen, the marketplace. And here was official video from UNESCO. And my hand was frozen at that moment. And also official text about the place from UNESCO website. And to finish, Twitter about UNESCO and Bremen. That was the key words used in this search. Well then, that was it. And the good point thing about this tube is like, it's not a rocket science. It's not like, blow my mind using this. But it took me 3 hours and a half to do this. Like since when I think, okay, let's do about Bremen. And then I start to search the content that I was looking for and drawing the avatars. And implemented it with the CMS, and it took me 3 hours and a half. So half-day job, and then already have a very simple but still have a lot of possibilities you can use. And if you have more time, you can talk about the Holland, everything more in details with teachers. And for the last part, final considerations, Ivana will tell us the parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing that I want to say you is that in our final considerations, we realize that it's possible to turn augmented reality in a very, very simple thing. Because we follow your presentations, you are talking about like very complicated and very structured environments to create a virtual reality, and we are here the fish outside the bowl. And we came here to say that it also can be really, really simple and accessible for people that never will step in a conference like this, or never will be in a virtual reality cave to test something. You can use this kind of elements. Like our inspiration was mainly the educational uses. For example, we live in Weimar right now. It's a place where you are gonna see like groups of students almost every day walking around the city, and all the time the teachers are screaming with the kids because they are distracted with their mobile phones around the city. And then our inspiration was like that, wow, maybe we can turn these disturbance, like this mobile phone thing, into a learning tool in a way that the teachers could manage to prepare something interesting for this new generation that's always connected and always into new digital experience.